Hello there, this is a video about some of the questions I've been getting through Instagram and email and in some comments here on YouTube. It's a lot of questions about finding the right entries and all those things, and I have the feeling that if I explain something about that a lot of people they are looking for more of an answer like at this number get in and at that number get out or something, or I really wanna show you in this video. I'm gonna do it on a Nasdaq, and I think I'm gonna do it on gold and maybe a Forex pair, so different markets to, you know, whatever you are trading. You can see that there is no difference in those markets when you're trading, and also there I want to show you the picture of how to identify levels to consider an entry. Because that's what it is. It's not a hard fact that you get in there and get out. Those things. That's not what's going on. So yeah, let me just explain it But before we get into that, please like, subscribe, and comment below if you like my content. Thank you very much. And also, we need to take a quick look on the disclaimer. Make sure you understand that there is risk involved when trading. The disclaimer is in my description in every video, so take a time to read it and to make sure you understand what you're getting into. Okay, let's get into the video. Further, I'm gonna show you right from the start what it's about here. This is the daily chart on a Nasdaq, and I wanna put in these trend lines because that's what the video is about, of course. How to use trend lines in a certain strategy to find, in this case, to answer the question a little bit as well on the entry part. So this is quite obvious, I think. I'm gonna use a different. This is a significant level because price really bounced off of here. I'm gonna make this a red for now. Something else on the charts I want to emphasize is this level over here, because this resistance level gets broken, retest a little bit, and then price takes off. So it's also one of those levels I'm looking at. This is another one, and now just recently we had some resistance over here, support right now. So these are just some things I want to get on my chart from a daily time frame. Then I zoom in to see what this chart is looking like. Now we know that we had a rally, we had a bounce off of this level over here, and price is starting to move again. This was the last real support area. This to me is not a support level. This is not a support level at all. Then again we come into this area over here where we see this resistance level here getting penetrated a little bit, but it seems to hold. So this is starting to become something I would like to have on my chart. Okay, so let's continue. We start moving, and then we have this range where price is moving in, and then we see a certain resistance over here, and later on that resistance becomes support. So this is an actual support, so stay with me here. Then again, new support is in. We start to push higher. We do get some consolidation here, but we do not get a retest of the previous resistance level, so that did not happen. Eventually we hovered a little bit to the upside, and then finally we broke a bit higher again, and then forming all those support levels, those touches of support, making this support level that we identified on the daily chart already. Okay, well, I'm gonna put in a trend line again, so I'm gonna make that blue. We had this area over here, which we identified as a significant level, and then finally we had this level in as well. So putting in this trend line is a logical thing to do. Price is hovering, and it's staying way above this level over here, and then it comes back, and we have it in place from this 1-2 touch. It comes back for a third touch, and we have ourselves another rally. So it's all if you put in a moving average with a certain time frame or a period, it probably supports this move as well. Sometimes I call it a kind of a dynamic trend line. That's the way a moving average can behave. This is a static trend line, but this gives us direction on where price is going. Then over here we have ourselves a small fake breakout, continuing the move, but the support never broke, so there's nothing to be worried about. Then again, we got a deeper break, but again, support is holding, so probably if you moved your support levels the way you should, then you are still in this trade. And then eventually we keep on moving. Yeah, eventually we move all the way up here. And we stay above this trend line. Again, if it's a moving average, we stay above the moving average probably. And eventually we break, and this is a very deep and sharp break, of course, with a couple of red candles like this. Of course, you should get out of the trade. Something else, let's make this red again. If you continue putting in all those levels you should be watching, this is a small support area. This over here, it's not that clean anymore, but this is also one of those areas. Over here we have ourselves a resistance, and it's turning support. Again over here, as you can see, it gets a bit more choppy, so the supports get penetrated from time to time, and the moves are becoming less strong, as we see over here. So this is kind of the way a trend behaves, and then finally we break, and then it's all over. You stop, the trend line is broken officially, the support levels are broken 1, 2, 3, 4 times on a 4 hour, that is. On a daily we still have this here in place. Then we bounce off of this support level and do another attempt, fails, then we get to the lower side of this trend line, get rejected, and then this is always a this is tough to trade. You know, I prefer to actually take on a trade when momentum is really there, and this is a reversal structure, so it's kind of hard to trade. So the thing is, when you use trend lines in combination with the supports, then that is actually something that could be interesting. So let me switch over here. Let's see if we can get something in for gold. Let's go to the daily for a minute first. Okay, yeah, we had this rally. It's funny. This is funny because I pointed out last weekend that yes, this overall move is bullish, but taking on the trade from here on out, if you want to do it, this could be a setup, but it was not my preferred scenario because we are already, the move has already taken place. But that's something from a previous video. So if you want to see that, please check it out. Okay. What else do we have over here? Okay, trend lines again. What do we have? We have ourselves this level over here. I'm gonna make it blue because the trend lines in this case are all blue. So from a trend line perspective, we are still going strong, and this is actually what we're waiting for. We are waiting for this pullback, and when we touch this trend line in combination probably with this resistance turning support area, things get another move in the opposite direction. But this is the daily. Trend line can be used just as on a different time frame. Also here on a daily or the 4 hour, trend line had its function. What's interesting is that this first was a trend line, of course, and then later on we had this fake out and continued to make another push lower. Well, eventually I adjust my trend lines, and after this move here, bang, we moved out. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. Let's go to the hourly chart for gold. Let's see what we can identify over here. Let's see if we can get it a bit smaller. Okay, so this move occurred or started moving when we were in this area over here. So I think this was a fake out. So when we connect, I think this is the best way to put this trend line in. This was a pin bar, a fake out. This was an official touch, a second touch, small breakout, failed, another touch, and eventually we had a touch and a rejection, and then eventually we broke out. Remember, this is the hourly chart, so things look a bit different than the 4 hour chart or the daily chart. So the lower you go, the more choppy things get, and if you are not an experienced trader, then it can be hard to identify the levels you should be looking at. Again, this is the hourly chart. So I think this is a level, it's not that clean, as you can see. Sometimes it gets penetrated, where we have ourselves support here, resistance, support, support, support. So we have this in place over here. So we started rallying, we started moving, and then an obvious level here is the touch. So it's the combination of the trend line with resistance in the past. Some other level that catches my eye is this support level over here, which makes sense. Wait a minute. When we look at this level over here, but it gets penetrated too often. So it's quite choppy on the hourly chart. So make sure you understand what you prefer to trade. I prefer the daily or the 4-hour chart, and there is a reason for that. If it's the 4-hour, this was a support area. This was all consolidation in a small breakout. Yeah, this was invalid, and it's something we saw on the hourly, of course, as well. So this is the move for now. It got broken, so we're in for a correction. Let's see what will happen from here on out, and then of course we will continue to move. Also here, it's a huge consolidation. Not a lot of trending is going on. If you want to use trend lines in your strategy, then of course you should understand that. No, this doesn't add any information. Make sure that you need trending markets, of course. This is a breakout, pretty strong consolidation, bang, another strong move, and then the first serious pullback, followed by another strong move to the upside, and then we came back, broke support, kind of becoming resistance, and then we have this huge consolidation phase again, and then we started trending. Now we are in a break. So we need some kind of a new structure here. For example, a pullback into probably this area. If it holds as resistance, and we get another move, and then we'll encounter this support or this trend line. So it's the same kind of thing, but I hope you understand that the thing I'm pointing out here is really about the different time frames that can be used. Let's go finally to a Forex pair where we try to do the same thing. Remove everything. Okay, what do we have here? This is the first. I want to see what the daily is, because the bigger structure, that is really what you should want to know. Okay, I think we can connect some levels over here, and let's make that blue again. So we're overall in a bearish move on the daily chart. Quite obvious. We had ourselves a momentum from this bottom over here, pulling back into this area over here, which is now looking to it has broken. A retest occurred, and further downside is something that is pretty likely from here on out, but we encounter this level pretty fast after that. So again, the combination of trend lines and support and resistance levels is really what it's about. Also over here you can see that where price is rejected is, yes, it's the trend line, but it's also a very important support, resistance, resistance, support again, and now resistance level. So this is definitely, price does not just move around, especially on the bigger time frames. So I hope you understand what that is about. So we turned, we had this high, and this lower high, so it's a 3-time lower highs followed by 1 to 3 lower lows. So this move is, at the moment, it's going down. Now the thing is, what probably everybody wants to know, to answer the question about the entries a little bit, I'm going to stick to my point that it's all about reading charts, but eventually this is going down. So this is a trend line, and I said trend lines are blue. Let me switch that. Okay. So we have ourselves a resistance, we have ourselves a trend line. So a possible scenario from here on out to identify an interesting setup is, of course, we're gonna, rejection over here. We're still also below this level over here. Now these levels over here formed a resistance, and maybe they're turning out support. Let's see what happens. If we get a further continuation lower, then we probably get a pullback. Then another scenario is that we again attack this support and maybe break the support. All possible. But eventually, if this level breaks, that's a clue. that things are starting to consolidate first, and then we head back into this trend line probably, or a previous support level, and that's called a retest. And from a retest we get ourselves a new move to the upside. Let's say the retest is a little less deep, then I can point out the trend line theory as well. If this happens, then we have ourselves a break of the downward moving trend line and a new area of a supportive trend line moving in the opposite direction. So that's the way you can use trend lines. Never use just trend lines. I would always recommend to identify that, okay, we have ourselves a resistance here, a drop, then we have a lower high forming the second resistance, so which means that price is not moving any higher, but it's starting to move lower. Then we get a break over here, forming a lower low. So lower low, lower high, lower high, lower high, forming another lower high. So if you want to pinpoint your entry over here as well, you know that price is moving into this resistance area. Are you going to sell? Are you going to sell? Are you going to sell? Well, you don't know. You didn't know that this was a part of a trend line when this happened. I think when you connect these lines over here, you already thought this was a breakout. So the retest never held, and then you could have entered on the counter trend line in this case. Then we have consolidation. If you were looking for an entry on here, of course you could have entered on the break of support. If it never got into here, there wasn't a trend line to be drawn over here. Here again, if you wanted to enter this move over here, this was your trend line, and now we have the break. So now it could be a further continuation, or maybe a small pullback and then continuation to the downside. So the whole picture here, I want to leave it over here. It's like a piece of art. You know, you want to identify certain levels. If you didn't watch the whole video and you skip to the end, you're seeing this, then it's probably hocus pocus. But I hope you understand the point that draw the story on your charts. Use trend lines in combination with support and resistance. Is pure price action. I do not trade with indicators a lot, but if you want to, put in a moving average with a time frame that suits the way you trade, and that is a dynamic trend line instead of a static trend line. It can also help you, but as long as you build and think about your strategy, then you know the way to be trading is open. It's up to you to stick to the rule. This is it for now. Please like, subscribe and comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.